Hey guys, this is Matt with the Milwaukee Road. I'm going to show you a quick layout update. I've gotten quite a bit done in the last week. Thankfully, the wife has been pretty busy, so I've had a lot of time to myself, so can't complain about that. First off, I ended up painting the actual car yard, if you want to call it that. Sorry, my mind's gone blank. But I painted that. Then moving on, I ended up getting this little Milwaukee sign, putting it on the top of the roof here. Just kind of, as you can see coming in on the road right here, you can see the sign on the top of the building. Thought it would be kind of a cool little focal point, kind of neat for doing pictures as well. And the other thing I've got was I ended up getting 3 of these. They're resin kits of the observation car for the Milwaukee Road. I was going to actually have a buddy of mine do it in a 3D print, but shockingly, between the both of us, we actually had a mutual friend who actually made these, and I knew at one point he made some, but I didn't know that he still did. So I got a couple of them. Really nice interior detail. Exactly how it is actually in the real one. Really nice underbody too. So I just have to clean out the windows, clean up the car, and paint it up. So I've got 3 of those getting ready to go. Moving on from that, I do apologize about the mess on the layout. I've been very busy working on stuff, scenery-wise. So you'll see that in a minute. One thing I want to show you is I've got some custom-made decals in. Right here, this is the Milwaukee Racine in Troy. Anyone who follows Model Railroader knows of the Milwaukee Racine in Troy. So I had a buddy of mine make up the N-scale decals for it. And then it's called Palmetto Railways. They actually service the port of Charleston here in South Carolina. So I wanted to have something like that. They don't make it in N-scale or HO, so kind of a neat little thing. Then I have a ton of Milwaukee Road logos for the maintenance away vehicles. Same with Wisconsin Central for the doors. Then moving on. Again, I apologize for the mess. You'll see in a second. A lot of changes have been done. I got this area painted. I did all the static grass, and you can see coming along here. Oh, sorry, there we go. I got it in focus. Got this area done. I'm gonna come down here. You can see this is my pizzeria. Kind of a neat little view right there. And I've got a Milwaukee Road maintenance away truck sitting there. The other thing that I did was these coming soon signs. I'm actually gonna put at the corner here, but I ended up, before the static grass was completely dried, I ended up taking the tires and going through the grass, knocking it down, so that way, it looks like he just drove through the high grass and parked it there as they're doing the surveying. So I did that. Then I did Cogdell Yard. I've got all of that done. I will say I did use a new material. The ballast for this is actually Arizona mineral and rock. I've never used them before. They were kind of expensive, but this is about $20 worth of their rock. But to be honest, very, very, very impressed with how it looks. I love it. No one makes this type of color, and it really is true N-scale colors or N-scale size for a yard. Here are 2 of the engines that I painted, one with the Palmetto Railways, and then one of my Milwaukee Racine and Troy locos. I still have the horns on order for both of them, so that's why they don't have them yet, but I'll get those soon. One thing I just want to share with you guys, here's what I did for my crossing. All I did was I took some track that I'm never going to use again, that I actually had to rip up from my old layout, cut it up into little strips, glued it in between the tracks, and put some ballast down and it makes a great crossing. You actually can see that in the real world on how they have that. But then again, with the Cogdell yard, you can see I've got an area where the wheel sets are changed out. That's going to be a yard office building, some equipment, maintenance building, an entire wheel set sitting there. Right here, I'm actually going to have some ballast piles just sitting there. I've got a little excavator, an old style excavator that is going to go there. Just have to paint it up, and I just have some other stuff just sitting there. So that's pretty much all that I have on this. But coming down, you can see I've got all of this static grass, all the trees in. And again, this is where the big mess is. But I got some trees back in that corner. I got the first layer of the grasses down here, and this kind of will show you what how I do my area. I first paint the plaster or the wood, whichever is the sub base, dark brown. Then I put in the fine grass turf. From there, I then I'll move this building out of the way. I end up going back, putting white glue down, and then putting the static grass on top of that. So that way, I'm going to try to zoom in on this, but you can see some of that fine grass from Woodland Scenics is actually visible underneath the static grass. Kind of gives it a little bit more of a realistic look. Happy with how that looks. Other than that, this is what I've basically been doing. One other thing with this cow pasture, I ended up putting some plaster down, and I know it's really hard to see on the camera, and I apologize, but once I smeared, I'll try to, you can see it a little bit better right there. I smeared some plaster around, and then I took a cow, and I actually just kind of dabbed him around as if he was walking through the mud. So you can see there's a ton of little footprints, so that way I can make it look a little bit muddier. Then on here, I ordered some weather vanes for here and some lightning rods for on top of the barn. Painted the inside the floor, same as the garage. Coming down, again, I got that area done. Now here is the other side. I got all the static grass in there. I'm still gonna put pretty big weed, kind of like coarse stuff on the side, and then put the water in here. So that way it kind of gives a little bit more of a defined edge. I got the static grass up to here. Other than that, I still have to put in the road back there, put in the parking lot, kind of build this area up, and I'll be able to finish this area off. But I'm gonna go over to this side now. I know in this you cannot see the backdrop. It's actually downstairs in my dining room, but I did get two parts up. So I'm gonna scoot down to there. And you can see this is how the backdrop will look all along here. So I'm gonna zoom in right here. You can actually see I have a road coming out of there, coming over here, another road, and then another road right there. And that's all made by Trackside Scenery. Very, very happy with how it looks. I think it looks really good. And as far as the rest of this 16-foot length, that's all sitting on my dining room table. I was hoping to have it up this weekend, but it takes two people, and unfortunately the wife has been at the Southern Ground Music Festival yesterday and today, so I don't know when I'll be able to get that up, but I'm hoping I can get it soon. Little track work update, because I've told you I'm having an addition put in on that side. Coming across where the stairway is actually going to be a bridge that has 3 tracks to come in, and that way the trains, all 3 tracks can go to the opposite side as well. So I've got part of the track work in. It's not permanently nailed down. It's pretty much from here back is all permanently in. From here out is still very loose, and some track isn't even connected. But it's just kind of sitting there, just kind of showing me where it's going to be. But there's one of my little crossovers that I have. So that way I can either have the train continue on this side, go in front of the yard, or have it go across. and go over and into the addition. The other thing that I've done, I got rid of the church, got rid of the graveyard, and I ordered 3 of the Cotto apartments. So as soon as I get those in, I'll have that set. Now I do have, it's a little compactor that you see all the time at apartment complexes for trash. I got that from Shapeways. That is actually down in the garage drying right now. I just painted it, but I have that. Other than that, this is pretty much all that I've gotten done. Again, I do apologize about the mess. I know it looks awful, but it's because I've been working on the scenery and trying to get everything all accomplished here. So I'll give one last overview of Cogdell Yard. And again, the Milwaukee Racine and Troy, and the Palmetto Railways GP7 coming around the corner. And right here, I've got a guy who I got to put another mark underneath that tire, but kind of burning rubber trying to pass the Jones transport truck. So that's pretty much what I've gotten down to. Other than that, haven't really been doing a lot of running the trains, but I've been putting in all the static grass. I got rid of the small little construction site here only because there was just too much stuff going on in this area, and so I just figured I'd put some trees and get rid of that. So that's pretty much all that I've gotten done. You can see I got the little road end sign. Still have to work all in this area, but as far as this area goes, pretty well done. All I have to do is get all of this done, get these grass mats cut, and I do actually have a piece of plexiglass that's going to go up to protect that. One other thing that I did accomplish that I forgot to say, right here is actually my control for the Cogdell Yard, for the DC operation of it. Doesn't slide or do anything, but it actually kind of goes, up on a slant, so that way, it just kind of sits up there, and all I have to do is just work the throttle, and it's good to go. This is all going to get painted black on the inside, and then once the skirting goes underneath, it'll all kind of blend in. So that's pretty much all that I've gotten done. Like I said, I did get a lot of the scenery done, and again, I just want to say that this Arizona Rock and Mineral looks amazing as the yard ballast. So probably going to spend the rest of my money on getting the ballast from them for the remainder of the track. But that's pretty much all I have. If you have any questions, comments, just let me know. If there's anything you want to see, please let me know, and I'll try to get a separate video up. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll talk to you guys later.